And the legend Roger Stone, kind enough to call in and join us. Another busy day for Mr. Stone, but always takes the time to come on Piscopo with Frankie Morano, Alan Debbie. Roger, welcome back, my friend.
Joe, I wouldn't miss it. Miss it.
Roger, you on that? I did not see the last time we chatted, the Showtime documentary. You are the star in that whole Showtime documentary. You look fashionable. You have your as usual. Your wardrobe is impeccable, Roger Stone. How fun was it to do that documentary on Showtime called Trump?
Those guys from Heilman and the other character are those guys are real wise guys. I mean, they're liberals. They're not exactly Trump friends.
Yeah.
Yet there was a good kind of repartee. And of course, Joe, they were busting my stones because Trump can't possibly win. And this is all very great, Stone, and we love it and so on. It's a big shtick, but we both know Trump can't possibly win. we had this theme throughout the entire filming. Where every opportunity they could, they wanted to say, you give it up. Please, come on. She's got this in the bag. It's a sure thing. There's no way.
Yeah.
And we now know that in the final 2 weeks, when Trump was barnstorming through Democratic neighborhoods picking up votes, Hillary was up in Chappaqua in her pajamas looking at swatches of fabric for the White House curtains.
It's so true. But I'm talking to the great Roger Stone about this documentary that I happened to finally catch over this long President's Weekend. But Roger, because you know what I love about you, Roger, I talk to you as a friend, man, and so proud to be your buddy here, is that you really held your own and you didn't waver. And you didn't try to placate the interviewer because they were amazed that Donald Trump would win at all. They were shocked in this documentary that they won. But you stood early on, Roger, before anybody else. You stood your ground, and that really resonated on camera. I must tell you, my friend.
Yeah, well, these guys, Mark Halpern and John Heilbrunn, they're smart guys. They're very funny, but you got to be on your toes. I mean, they're like wicked smart. And they're waiting for you to make a mistake, just waiting for you to make a mistake. I had a lot of fun. Interestingly enough, that show, The Circus, surprisingly got canceled.
Oh.
So that's the end of it. It was a great series. It was really a great series, well put together.
Yeah.
Virulently anti-Trump and pro-Hillary, of course, but hey, why should it be different than any other outlet in the mainstream media?
It's so true. Roger, how's the book doing, The Making of the President 2016?
Well, I tell you, Joe, what's disconcerting. I go to last week's New York Times bestseller list. I'm very, very optimistic. And I find out that books 14 and 15, they rate them 1 through 15, by the way. Books 14 and 15 both have a lower book scan number than my book. Yet my book's not on the list. Very curious. Book scan is the calculation of all book sales. And then the New York Times leaves himself a little room to say, and several other sources. Well, it's 80% book scans pretty much known in the industry. So I am hoping this week we will hit the list because sales are very, very brisk. And if folks want to help put us over the top, now is the time. The Making of the President 2016, you go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble and you can find it. But it's the inside story of how Donald Trump pulled off the greatest single upset in American history. This was bigger, in my opinion, Joe, than 1948. And the more I think about it, Hillary Clinton, in many ways, Tom Dewey without the mustache, cold, aloof, had it in the bag, very much alike now that I think about it.
That will be quoted throughout the day in media outlets everywhere. Roger, Tom Dewey without the mustache. I love it, Roger. I love it, man. Hey, are you doing a book event in Jersey this week?
I think we're at the Middlesex County Republican Women's Club.
Cool.
At the Old Bridge Senior Citizen Center Wednesday night at 7.
All right.
In the flesh.
Yeah, that's great.
So
You go down and you actually show up. Hey, Roger, I got to ask you, man. So the UN ambassador from Russia, like dropped dead. Did somebody get whacked here? Because I know it's Russia, man. Am I being too critical when I think that?
well, it's conceivable. What I suggest is you have Frankie Morano canvass his sources, if you know what I mean.
You can check it out with Frankie Five Boroughs, right? Hey,
But
yeah.
of course, as you now know, he's known in some of those boroughs as Frankie Deep Dish. So he was flaunting the fact that he actually ordered deep dish pizza. I'm not saying anything, but
You're just saying in New York City. It's okay in Chicago.
in New York,
Yeah.
he was openly, wantonly, aggressively ordering deep dish pizza.
I think he just likes to irritate people around him sometimes. Hey, Roger Stone, have the feds contacted you about the Russian probe?
No, absolutely not. I'm not even sure there is a Russian probe. I mean, I read it in the New York Times, but Joe, I must tell you, I've been thinking about this. I really hope that the U.S. Senate will follow through on their claim that they were going to hold public hearings. I would relish the opportunity to testify in public under oath about this whole question because there were no Russian contacts with the Trump campaign, certainly not through me. And that neither Donald Trump nor Roger Stone has anything whatsoever to fear in a real, fair, unbiased investigation. And if the government wants to play games, which is what I think they're doing, then maybe the Congress should hold hearings and get to the bottom of this. I think they would be most non-revelatory. I think they would prove the whole thing is nonsense.
Yeah. Hey, Roger, too, the Trump rally in Orlando, which looked great and celebratory, and then Melania saying the Lord's Prayer. Why can in the we do I'm a Muslim too events, which sure, great, got it, fine, but they could do all sorts of prayers from every religion. God forbid a Christian steps up, does the Lord's Prayer. She got vilified for that, man.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going on in this country when you can get vilified for, citing a prayer from the majority religion in the country.
Honestly.
But the rally did show something important, Joe, and it's that the Trump constituency, the Trump coalition, is very much intact. That these beatings on him by the mainstream media, where the poor guy cannot do anything right, they just won't give him a chance. By the way, it's very interesting. I went back and looked at some of the photos, some of the stories on Clinton's early presidency.
Yeah.
First term, exactly like this. Exactly. It's a disaster. He doesn't know what he's doing. He'll never find the men's room. I mean, it was just absurd. And of course, he righted the ship when he got the right chief of staff. And I think in this case, it was the former congressman from California who became CIA director, who got the Clinton administration, back on an even keel. And I'm convinced that Donald will ultimately end up with the best people to serve him. And all of this kind of gossip and innuendo and Twitter wars.
Yeah.
If the economy is moving, nobody will care. Nobody.
Yeah. Roger, are you in New York by tomorrow? Are you in New York by chance?
Yes, I am. Yes,
maybe,
I am.
I wanted to ask you. And anyway, I'll go to Frankie. I don't want to bother you, but maybe we could rendezvous. And I'll keep kind of thinking, and we'll let you go, Roger. Appreciate your valuable time, but I like to have, because folks kind enough to listen. It's like a family here, Roger. So I'm being honest. As an independent, I mean, I see how Donald Trump comes out of the box, right? But he's got to attach himself to a major party because of the base and the infrastructure. I wonder if it's time to take the next step and independents can actually win state by state in 2017.
It's an interesting question. It's one that only some dynamic polling would tell you the real answer. The problem you always begin with as an independent is when the vote count begins, you start at zero. The Republican in a state like Jersey starts with probably 35. 40, 35. Democrat probably starts with 38 or 40, just out of the box, just by being the Democrat.
Yeah.
As you're an independent, you're starting at zero.
Yeah.
It's a long road. It's very difficult for an independent, and I've worked for some good ones. I mean, Tom Golisano, where I met the great Frank Morano. Spent $100 million on a New York State campaign. Ran a first-rate campaign.
Wow.
You know, couldn't crack. Got to 20%. Couldn't crack the rest.
Yeah.
You know,
Roger.
And in the three-way race, even if he hadn't won, if he'd run second, let's say, he would have, you know, upset the political machinery and all the the county election boards. It's a tall mountain. I mean, I always think that Donald made the right choice. He looked at it in 2000 in terms of running for president on the Reform Party, and ultimately decided that you couldn't win without being either a Republican or a Democrat.
Right, got it. Roger, we always appreciate your expertise, and you're taking the time on the show, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And please stay close, Roger Stone, and we appreciate it very much, my friend.
Great to be here. Many thanks, Joe. And grab your copy of The Making of the President 2016.
We will, for sure. The Making of the President 2016 from Roger Stone, appearing, by the way, Wednesday night around in Middlesex County in New Jersey. If you just Google Roger Stone, you will be able to find out where this wonderful gentleman will be appearing live.